Hi, it's Ashley from Sweet Dreams Bake Shop, and welcome back to my channel where I make a lot of cake and cookie decorating tutorials as well as give a lot of baking business tips. Now, my original intent for this video was just to do a regular old-fashioned sugar cookie decorating tutorial, but I'm clearly late to the game as Easter is very much over, and in the consumer world, I feel like everybody is ready to jump into summer. And ordinarily, I'm super fast at editing videos and getting content out there, but in the last few weeks, I have just been so mentally and physically exhausted. If you've been reading my community posts, then you know that I've been directing a musical, and it's pretty much taken up every ounce of energy that I have. And in my moment of exhaustion, this actually inspired me to talk about baking burnout. So this is my personal baking burnout story, and it might surprise you. My online cake and cookie business really started to ramp up around the third year of university for me. Now, because I was a university student, I obviously had to attend classes, but I attended classes about 2 hours away from my home. So that was 2 hours of driving there and 2 hours of driving back every single day. On top of that, I would come home and then I would go teach piano, and I had around 20 to 30 piano students during this time. So on top of the rigorous workload that I already had from doing full-time school as a university student and then the piano students, and on top of that, I added on this whole cake and cookie business, things were very, very busy. And back then, I felt like I needed to accomplish a lot. I had a big chip on my shoulder about a lot of things, so it just pushed me harder. And what ended up happening in turn was I ended up making about 5 to 10 orders a week on top of all of that stuff that I just mentioned. And although at first I was able to do things from home because it was just for friends and family, once it started going out to the public, I had to start renting out commercial kitchen spaces. And this was so difficult to do because with my schedule and how tight everything was, everything had to be scheduled down to a T. So sometimes I would be out till all hours of the morning trying to make sure that things would get done. I missed out on many hours of events because I was constantly trying to fulfill these orders. It got to the point where my boyfriend at the time, who's now my husband, and my friends only saw me stressed 24/7. And I guess a small part of it was for the money. It was great as a university student to have a little bit more extra cash, but honestly, I didn't have much time to spend it. And even though my close friends would say to me, "You're working too hard, you really need to slow down, you need to take some time for yourself," the alternative from home, if I decided to try and take some time for myself, was the expectation was I was to be studying at all times. If I was home, I was supposed to be studying on weekends, on weekdays. So I think that's why I ended up taking on a lot. I felt this huge need to prove that I could make actual money from cake and cookies. And like I said, it wasn't really about the money. It was just proving that it was a viable career. And that I could also do the academia thing at the same time. So after I did graduate from university within the 4-year time limit that I was given, and then I also did graduate with my second degree so that I could become a teacher, I was still making a lot of cake and cookie orders. And I had learned some things over the years. I learned to pare down a bit, I learned to take on less piano students, and I did reorganize my schedule. But my whole life was overtaken by cakes and cookies, literally every waking moment. So I guess all of the success and the mild recognition that I wanted was gained over the years, but it still didn't feel great. And it was at this moment that I truly had to make a decision. Did I want to do the baking thing full time, open up my own bakery, or did I want to continue pursuing my teaching career? And if you've been a longtime viewer of my channel, first of all, thank you. But second of all, you might be thinking, wow, Ashley, you've made a lot of baking business tip videos specifically talking about home baking businesses. And I stand by all those tips, and I completely encourage it to have a long-term home baking business. However, I do think that when you get to a certain level and you have a lot of orders and you want to continue taking on that mass amount of orders, then it is time to make a decision about whether or not you're going to open your own storefront. And that's kind of where I was at, because I really could not function anymore using commercial kitchens or using any small spaces. I needed something that was my own space, or I needed to just stop. And then I had to ask myself, what is it that I really, really love about baking? Clearly, I love to share my baking and give my baking, but I also really love the creative aspect. And that's when the whole vision for this channel finally came into view, and I was able to find a way to continue to feed my passion without having to do the other side that was just exhausting me and burning me out. I always thought I wanted to run a storefront, but I think this is the baking career that I've always wanted. I just never knew I wanted it. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you can be part of the Sweetie fam. Right now, I'm uploading weekly, so make sure you hit that notification bell so you know when I upload. Also, be sure to comment, request, or ask a question. I love hearing from you guys. Bye!